December 1st, 1948. On a quiet beach in Adelaide, Australia, a mystery was about to begin.
Somerton Beach was a peaceful place. Every day, people came here to walk along the shore, enjoy the ocean breeze, and
The sea was calm, the sky was clear, the beach was quiet. There was absolutely no sign that a mystery was about to unfold. Near the seawall sat a lone man facing the ocean. He appeared calm and relaxed. To anyone passing by, several people noticed him throughout the morning, but nobody paid much attention. It was common to see people sitting alone by the beach.
as time passed, however, something began to feel strange.
Eventually, nearby visitors started to feel concerned. Some wondered if he was asleep. Others felt that something wasn't quite right.
Local authorities were soon notified. Within a short time, an investigation began. The unknown man sitting on the beach would soon become known around the world.
At first, investigators believed this would be a straightforward case. They expected to identify the man quickly and contact his family.
But almost immediately, they encountered a problem. There were no clear documents that could easily reveal who he was.
The few belongings connected to the man offered very little information. Instead of answers, they only created more questions.
Records were checked. Reports were reviewed. Every possible lead was examined, yet no clear identity emerged. As news of the case spread, newspapers began reporting on the mystery. Public curiosity grew rapidly.
People across Australia started asking the same question. Who was this man, and why could nobody identify him? Investigators worked tirelessly to connect the clues. But every path seemed to end in another dead end. What seemed like a simple investigation was quickly turning into one of the most puzzling mysteries of the 20th century.
As investigators continued examining the case, they hoped that somewhere within the evidence, a small detail overlooked.
Every object was examined again. Every note was reviewed. Every possible lead was explored.
Authorities expanded their search beyond Adelaide. Records from other cities were checked, and information was shared across the country.
The search grew larger and larger, but no matter where investigators looked, the same question remained unanswered. Who exactly was this man?
As weeks passed, public interest exploded. Newspapers across the nation began publishing stories about the mysterious stranger.
People debated possible explanations. Some believed he was a traveler. Others thought he might have been involved in something secret. The more theories appeared, the more confusing the case became. Every answer seemed to create even more questions.
Then, investigators discovered something that would change the entire direction of the case. A clue so unusual that it would become famous around the world.
Hidden among the evidence was a tiny piece of paper. At first glance, it looked completely insignificant. But written on that small piece of paper were two words that would confuse investigators for decades.
The words were Tamam Shud. Few people had ever heard the phrase before, yet it would soon become one of the most famous clues in mystery history. Authorities quickly began searching for its meaning. Where had the phrase come from, and why was it connected to the unidentified man?
Eventually, investigators discovered that the words came from a Persian book of poetry known as the Rubaiyat.
The phrase roughly translates to "it is finished" or "the end." But instead of solving the mystery, the discovery only made the story even stranger.
Why would those words be connected to an unidentified man? Was it a message, a clue, or simply a coincidence?
At that moment, investigators realized they were no longer dealing with an ordinary case. They were entering a mystery unlike anything they had ever seen.
The discovery of the phrase Tamam Shud led investigators toward an entirely new lead. Authorities soon focused their attention on a rare copy of the Rubaiyat. What they didn't know was that this book
Every page was examined. Every detail was documented. Investigators hoped that somewhere inside the book, a hidden answer was waiting to be found.
Then something unexpected appeared. Inside the book were strange markings that immediately attracted attention. The markings didn't resemble normal writing. Instead, they looked more like a coded message.
Experts were brought in to analyze the strange sequence of letters. Could it be a secret code, a personal note, or something else entirely?
The deeper investigators looked, the more unusual the mystery became. Instead of answers, every clue seemed to create new questions. And even today, many researchers believe the meaning of those letters has never been fully explained. For decades, cryptographers and amateur codebreakers have studied the mysterious markings. Thousands of theories have been proposed. Some believed the letters formed an encrypted message. Others argued they were simply random notes with no hidden meaning. The problem was simple. No interpretation could fully convince everyone.
Every theory explained part of the mystery, but none explained all of it. As the investigation continued, another curious detail emerged from the evidence. A phone number connected to the case was discovered. Naturally, investigators wanted to know who it belonged to.
The lead generated enormous interest. Could this finally be the breakthrough they had been waiting for?
Instead of solving the mystery, however, the discovery only added another layer of uncertainty. Once again, investigators were left with more questions than answers.
By this point, the case had become so unusual that some people began considering far more dramatic explanations. One theory quickly captured public imagination. What if the unidentified man had been connected to espionage? The timing certainly fueled speculation. The world was in the middle of the Cold War.
Governments were gathering information. Secret operations existed. False identities were not uncommon.
To some researchers, the mystery seemed almost too strange to be ordinary. Multiple unexplained clues appeared to fit the profile of a much larger story.
But there was one major problem. No evidence could conclusively prove any espionage connection.
As a result, the spy theory remains exactly what it has always been, a fascinating possibility, but never a proven fact.
As the decades passed, the mystery refused to disappear. New generations of research continued. Advances in forensic science offered new possibilities. Historical evidence that once seemed impossible to analyze could now be examined using modern techniques.
Researchers carefully revisited every piece of information connected to the case. Old reports, photographs, witness statements, preserved evidence were all.
Among the most promising developments was DNA technology. For the first time, scientists believed they might finally uncover the identity of the mysterious man.
The process took years. Data had to be verified. Records had to be compared. Every conclusion required careful investigation.
Eventually, researchers began exploring genetic genealogy, a method that has helped solve many historical mysteries in recent years.
By comparing genetic connections, investigators hope to trace the unknown man's origins and possibly identify living relatives. For the first time in decades, it seemed possible that the mystery was finally moving toward an answer. This is it. New research produced fascinating results. Several clues appeared to point toward a possible identity.
News organizations around the world reported on the breakthrough. Many people believed the case was finally about to be solved.
Some investigators became increasingly confident in their conclusions. Others urged caution, reminding the public that historical mysteries are rarely simple. Even with modern technology, separating facts from speculation remained one of the biggest challenges.
The coded message, the mysterious book, the unknown identity. Decades later, these clues continued to captivate researchers.
Every clue seemed connected, yet the complete picture still remained frustratingly out of reach.
Few mysteries have remained active for so long. Generation after generation continued asking the same question. Who was the Somerton Man?
Today, many experts believe we are closer to the truth than ever before.
New findings have suggested possible origins, possible family connections, and possible explanations. Yet every major mystery contains uncertainties. And this case is no exception.
Even when new answers appear, old questions often remain. The phrase that started one of the most fascinating chapters of the investigation still captures the imagination of mystery enthusiasts around the world. Taken individually, each clue tells only part of the story. Together, they form one of the most remarkable mysteries of the 20th century. After more than 70 years of investigation, research, and debate, the mystery continues to inspire new discoveries.
Perhaps the final answer has already been found. Or perhaps one last missing piece is still waiting to